What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by two things. Since we don't do any sponsorships here on the channel, I'll show them out real quick. The first is my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and the second is a new podcast I just launched called Chasing Infinity. Check them out, links in the description below, and I appreciate the support. Okay, guys, let's jump into answering your Splinterlands comments and questions video. I haven't done one in a bit, but they're starting to pile up, so I figured why not dive in. So we got super new user here saying, I somewhat frequently run into people in Modern who pick nearly identical teams to what I pick, and it happens often enough that it's not coincidence. So this is on the bot activity video that I put out. You know what's interesting is sometimes I get the same thing, and I don't know if like the meta is just so much more simple or less open, we should call it, in Modern, that me and somebody else around the same level would pick the exact same teams. Here's the thing though, if you pick the same team and the other person picks the same team and it's in Modern and you're not botting, then I don't know what you're trying to insinuate here. I've seen this happen a lot in Wild when my bot is picking a team and then the other team is like identical, right? Maybe there's some levels that are slightly different, but I do see it in Modern every once in a while. Again, not enough for me to be like super suspicious, but it has happened a couple of times. Not frequently though, I wouldn't use that word. So Bruce says, survival mode can be botted. What if someone set up a bot to play only one card at one BCX and have so many accounts that they can compete at 90% of his match versus others of his account? He could get most of the rewards at low level competing versus himself for really low cost. Does it make sense? I heard energy is not required for survival, so I think it's somewhat something that needs to be fixed before going live. Well, this is an ongoing conversation about this. Now, here's the thing. I know that, you know, everybody's worried about one BCX monsters or units being able to play and essentially just go crazy. But at the end of the day, if there are losers in those one BCX battles, they cannot be played for the rest of the season, right? So it's like a one and done if there are one BCX cards out there, which I think is important to note. Now, again, I haven't done the math. I don't know if anybody else out there has done the math. I'm wondering if the team has potentially done the math on this, and I'd love for them to be able to expand more on it if they have. But what I'm trying to get at here is, let's say everybody starts out in, week one or day one of this bot farm, survival mode, and you maybe have a bunch of bot farms that want to participate in this new mode. Well, at first, any bots that go up against anybody that has higher level cards, they're going to lose, and then they get nothing out of that. All those cards essentially go into the wastebasket for the rest of the season, and then they have to and anybody who's playing against them who wins, right? If you have higher level cards, well, then you get to keep on playing. So a lot of bots, I think, are going to be knocked out, or a lot of cards that bots own, I believe, would be knocked out in the first parts of the season. And sure, maybe we can get to a point where it's only the bots at the lower level, but I don't know. The more I think about it, and again, I haven't done the math, but I have to believe smarter people have. It doesn't seem like it would be as big of a problem as something that we were worried about. Because the biggest issue that we saw with bots pre-energy change, right, when it was ECR, energy capture rate, was the fact that they could play forever, like unlimited amounts of battles. Then when we switched to ECR, okay, we limited the amount of energy that they could play, but it was still quite a bit, especially if you spread these bots across all, or the cards that they had across all these different accounts, right? Well, now it's coming out where the cards are the energy, and if a card loses, it can no longer compete. And if it's a common one BCX, that thing is going to go straight into the cooldown mode, right? I was going to say wastebasket, but essentially what it is, right? Cooldown mode for 15 days, which is essentially the entire season. So the more I think about it, and I know people are going to be like, I'm moving the goalposts here. Of course, I would like to see two things, right? I would like to see the Wild Season Pass, not an extra one, but the Wild Season Pass be extended to this mode, right? So if you buy the Wild Pass, you now get a benefit. You can play in both Wild format as well as Survival mode. I would like to see that, as well as no Soulbound reward cards, right? That to me is probably the biggest area, just because there's so many of those summoners. If we can get those two shored up, it's fine. If we don't, again, I wouldn't mind seeing a season or two of how this goes. And I'm sure everybody will be watching it like a hawk. We'll have a bunch of different data points we can point to and kind of digest and then, present to the team at whatever the next town hall would be, to just say like, hey, like this was interesting and it's not working. Now we have some suggestions for what you could implement if they're not able to implement those beforehand. But I don't know. That's where my head is at right now. I kind of just want to see this. I don't think a season or two. I don't even think 4 to 6 seasons is going to like ruin the game. Sure, could there be some SPS selling? But on the whole, SPS has been relatively strong, and we're entering into a bull market. If bot farms are going to come in and just dump SPS now, like I don't know. I'm not as worried about it anymore. I'm kind of over it. But I get your concern. All right, so Banana says, but then it would be 8 billion vouchers. All right, this is to me saying the next voucher promo needs to be max level, or at least needs to have incentives to get to the max level. The cool thing, though, is that we don't have anywhere near 8 billion vouchers. We don't even have anywhere near 1 billion vouchers. We only have like 15 million. So that would be awesome if we can eat through all of them and make things super scarce in the future when it comes to these promo cards. All right, Mondred says, gee, I wonder what it could be. Probably has nothing to do with super bot farm friendly extraction paradise of a new mode they just announced. This is on the bot activity. Again, I'm not going to rehash my points. I want to see how it works. I would love to see a couple things implemented. If they don't, let's just get it out there, and then we can always put a stop to it if we need to, or at least pressure the team to put a stop to it. Ultrix says, I saw a lot of failed transactions the last few days. Botfarm was trying to sell cards, but was failing due to not having even 1 DEC to pay the market fee. You know what's interesting? This is probably the most plausible theory, Ultrix, and thank you for bringing some other data points here. Not yesterday, but 2 days ago or 3 days ago, whenever it was, we did see that spike in transactions. So that could be the reason we saw the spike in transactions if the bot farms are just trying to sell whatever they have and exit the game. Now, that would be so much better to the other narrative that we're seeing, like, oh, bot farms are coming back, right? And it would just be, okay, now they're, like, really gone. They're just not even going to bother, so they're going to sell off the rest that they have, which, again, we would take a hit to the card market, but come on, the card market's already pretty down. Ghostly BG thinking that this is bot survival mode. Survival mode. Yvonne says going to be like a dual splinter, 10 mana, 2 damage, 9 health, 3 speed, recharge or fly. There you go, plebs. All right, this is Yvonne's prediction for the next voucher promo card. Yvonne says no, it doesn't. There's no need for vouchers. They can do whatever they want. Okay. Yvonne's also saying in the other video, Aftersound is going to play at least 20 games in survival mode. It all depends on my win rate. I don't have that many extra summoners, and I'm not planning on buying a ton of summoners right now. So if I lose like early on, then I'm kind of done for the season. But if I can keep on winning, then 20 games would be fantastic. International Travel Channel and Snowballs, appreciate the comments. Thank you. All right, so this is on the bot video as well. Tails is saying, taking Soulbound inventory and possibly combining in preparation of the new SPS extraction once survival mode launches. The team can drill down into this account and transaction data to know exactly what is happening within their game. If they want to invite the bot farmers in again with open arms, nothing will be said and no changes to the format will be proactively made. I hope common sense kicks in and we see the team communication and action before the new game mode launches. Well, it's not happening until January at the earliest. So we'll see if there's some time to think it through. All right. Kevin says, "Thank you so." Oh, come on, another one. I guess we must be doing well. All the spammers are coming here. Thank you, International Travel Channel and Snowballs. All right, so Matthew Young says, I'm fine with them being in there as long as they are unlocked. Yeah, no, I thought I made that clear, Matthew, about the Soulbound reward cards. If they're unlocked, they're treated like NFTs, and they can be used just like anything else. But ones that are still considered Soulbound or still locked up, I would not want to see. KQ Forever says, yeah, nice to open up to a new community to realize what they've been missing out on over here in Hive. I hate the grass is so nice over there, but all the sheep like chewing on the brown patch over at the industrial farm. This is on my video about us but connecting to Solana through Hive Engine, which there wasn't much fanfare about that. Somebody tagged me in Discord today being like, yeah, nobody in Splinterlands really talked about that. But I guess that my video was not necessarily enough, but I was trying to ring the ring the bell on that to let people know. Again, I don't know how the liquidity looked awful on that at the beginning. Maybe it's improved now, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, so Peter says, hey, After Sound, do you know of any way to get data about which cards in your collection are used the most? By the way, I really like your song, By Your Side. Oh, well, thank you, first of all. I would say Splinter Coach is a fantastic resource for that. I don't know of any other source that's tracking it, so I will say check out Splinter Coach, and I think it's like Geeked Out Basketball is the IGN on Twitter/X. All right, State of Survival says Chaos will just go lower after it leaves Modern. What are you guys thinking? I don't know, man. Like how much lower can Chaos go? And at this point, like, why would people continue selling Chaos? Like, it's already lost so much of its value. I don't know that it's going to be like oversold at that point. Like, who's still holding on to Chaos that can't do anything with it? Maybe there's some bot farms that have some Chaos cards that will not want to participate in Wild. So yes, I'm saying that maybe there's some bot farms or bot accounts in Modern that wouldn't want to participate in Wild. But again, that's assuming that somebody is breaking the terms of service there, and I don't know. I just don't want to even dive into that any further. Maybe, but I'm saying that could be something plausible. All right, so Alt Moon Fox says, agreed, including soulbound cards just pushes the value to those instead of non-soulbound cards. It also dilutes winning per battle, as there are more battles. Rating inflation could also be affected. Yeah, I just don't like the idea. Like, look, these cards are fantastic. You get to use them, soulbound meaning, right? You get to use them in the other two game modes like you always have, but we want to be a little bit more cautious with this new game mode and make sure that it's not going to be exploited, which is why I think there should probably be maybe slightly a couple more rules or a couple tweaks before that goes live, but we'll see what the team comes away with. Shopboy says soulbound cards are only problem if bots are allowed, ban bots, and there's no problem. Well, sure, yeah, okay. Pousse says this needs to happen. Love the username. Let's go. That was about the soulbound cards. All right, Sherwin says, interesting because instead of swapping for Hive, it gets direct access to another token that's already available in exchanges. Yeah, I mean, Solana is hot right now and probably will be for the foreseeable future in this bull run. All right, thank you, International Travel Channel. All right, so this a lot of these are about the gold foil Heloise going for 14 million. Tail says, I wasn't aware the DAO was paying for marketing too. Well, a lot of people have been posting about it. Thank you, RK. Nicola says, dude outbid himself, 2x, just to have a reason for fake hype since it's a team member. Well, he did give his reason on why he outbid himself, but that's wild. To have a bid at 7.5 and then bid another 14 without seeing anybody else, like, he probably had another, 5 to 10 seconds. But I guess he just, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Nicola, to your point, I mean, they're just trying to have fake hype, right? That's essentially what marketing is. Fake hype because there isn't any real hype anywhere. So we got to fake it up. I mean, as I see the numbers across a lot of other crypto projects, just for example, like I keep seeing Parallel saying like we're adding X amount of players per day. Like that's cool, but I'm not seeing that in a lot of the metrics. So, fake it till you make it, I suppose. Vilson says, I agree Soulbound should be included in this one. Bananas says, I'm sending some and delegating a bunch more cards to an alt account that I'm hoping to be able to play in survival mode with. I think it'll give more value to things like extra copies of Summoners. I don't think I'd stand much of a chance of a higher leaderboard position, but I do have quite a few extra cards that I'd love to throw into a contest like that. I think it would come down to how many teams you can present. If you have a bunch of Summoners, even crappy ones, you'll do a lot better. I've always had a lot more of the get rid of whatever, but hang on to Summoners sort of view of collecting. Yeah, well, look, Summoners are the bottleneck for any of these game modes, right? Outside of land, which we thought they would be the bottleneck there too, but I'm sure that's still a sore topic for many people. But Summoners are the bottleneck for any and all of these game modes, which means that those are the numbers that I really want to dive into a little bit more. I have a video where we kind of talked about that and really focused in on the soulbound Summoners, but outside of that, it's like there's not much else there. So yeah, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be good. A different Bananas. No, this is Travel Channel, but I don't know who this is. Yes, I agree. Yelling. I I think the idea to let bots play is fine, but they need to change. They need to charge for a pass, and B, they need to say no soulbound cards. If I had my way, I'd say make it so that playing Wild doesn't charge a fee for a pass anymore, but also doesn't allow bots, just like Modern. Survivor mode should use bots, but because that's what it's made for, to figure out the most effective teams. The part of the appeal for me is going to be, how can I make a team from this like scrap that I have, knowing that like I might only get to use them once, right? So yeah, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting as we go along here. I remember during the live stream I mentioned that it was a good idea for us to. I remember I mentioned it was a good idea for us to take away the Wild Pass from Wild and have Wild be free. But the truth is that bots in Wild was never actually the issue that Wild Pass was trying to solve. That was a nice secondary effect, but the main issue was long-term extraction, whether that's from humans or from bots. So I think we're always going to need a Wild Pass for Wild format, but it'd be great if that Wild Pass, as I said earlier, was extended to the survival mode format. All right, sorry for the noise in the background. Some appliances going crazy. All right, let's see how much time we're at. Oh, wow, 60 minutes already. Okay, so let's do a couple more, and then we can call it a day. Banana says things are getting spicy. That was for the gold foil Heloise. Dwayne, let's see here. Dwayne says, if you think crypto bull market is not done, you have to add in green candles extra new wealth to your calculations on the next 80 card sales. We are not done with high prices. So today is the first day that I'm seeing an extended period of time where the price of a regular foil Heloise is not over 1 million. So I don't know if all the big buyers are done, but I've been expecting this. I mean, Dwayne, I know you're probably thinking we can go a little bit longer. Maybe we will, right? Because I think there's still like 15 hours left. But at some point, we're not going to do another 80 sales or 75, 76 sales with all of them being over 1 million. I don't see that. I don't see the appetite there. Maybe some people will come out of the woodwork. Like I saw Aggie bid today, which is kind of cool. Or maybe not today, but yesterday, which was kind of cool. But, overall, it is going to slow down at some point, especially as we get closer to Conclave Arcana, in my opinion. So Dwayne says, I feel like my predictions were the most bullish of anyone, and even I am surprised. I said 1 million per regular, 5 to 10 million per gold foil. Nope, way too low. Well, you know what? We were sitting at 7.5 million at the end. If Cryptomancer had not outbid the others by preempting it, I wonder how much the second highest bid would have been. Again, this is one data point, and while 14 million is awesome, I don't think that it tells the full story, and I am very curious to see what the second one goes for, but we're roughly a little under 3 weeks away from that. I guess maybe like 2.5. All right, Leandro says, no soulbound, please. Makes no sense to have soulbound in there. I agree. Wolf says, should have card selector to exclude particular cards to play in hardcore mode. For individual, I definitely want to exclude some of my cards to play in hardcore mode. Yeah, so that from a logistical perspective, I don't know how they're going to run that, because if I'm going to do it, I would probably just delegate all of my extra cards to a secondary account, because I don't want my main account to accidentally play one of the cards. So I don't know if they're going to have a system set up for that, if they're going to make people use alt accounts. Yeah, not a fan. Or if I guess the way that they could do it is if they just leave it up to the third-party services, right? Because if you want to bot your account, that's the only time you're going to be worried about it. But the question then becomes like, okay, if I play, like let's say I'm going to use my main account and I have like my maxed Kelia. If I play a battle, if I play a battle in survival mode, I don't want to use my max Kelia. Maybe I have like a second one that's like level 2 and I just want to try using that because that's my extra card. Which one pops up in the battle screen? And how do I make sure that I can select the right one? Again, that's from a logistical perspective, that's my concern. I'm sure the team is thinking through how all that's going to work, so I'm not too worried about it right now. There's still another month or two until it's out. But I think most people will probably just have or use an alt account, which is probably going to end up being my default. All right, Garnolf says, it's also a consideration of fairness. Anyone who has not printed a ton of soulbound cards would have a huge advantage, so I wouldn't allow soulbound cards at all. Yeah, sure. I mean, but people can print soulbound cards now. It's just that that was the only set, the Chaos Legion set, that had summoners in them, which is a problem. Charles says Solana is garbage. Base is the play. I mean, I do like both of them. Solana goes down way too much for me to have any kind of capital on there. But base is backed by Ethereum. But there's a phenomenal community out there. Look, here's the thing. I don't own a ton of Solana. I don't own a ton of ETH. But I have enough to navigate through and pay fees and things like that. So at the end of the day, like, I'm not making like my own personal stake in terms of like, hey, I'm like bullish on this and I'm gonna go crazy and life changing games, whatever, on Solana or Base. But I do recognize that there are games being built out there, and those games and those communities have a lot of potential to have overlap with Splinterlands. So I'm glad that we have the connection there. Okay, nonsense to not use soulbound cards. I disagree with that fundamentally. Sorry, I smurf. Let's see here. Another one. Thank you, International Travel Channel and Snowballs. All right, let's do one more and then we can call it a day. So Nozem says, yes, I totally agree with this with the soulbound cards. Wait, what's this one here? Let's do two more. We'll finish off with Tails. So isn't this big? Oh yeah, about my video connecting to Solana. Again, right now it's not as easy to get money in and out, but yeah, it should be a bigger deal in my opinion. I would say that the bigger deal is once SPS itself can be bridged to Solana, but I would assume that that is probably a couple of months away, if it even happens, right? So we'll see. And then Tails, finally, about the keep soulbound cards, 100. But don't say it too loud. You might hurt someone's feelings. Man, yeah, I don't even know what happened with that. The only thing I'm going to say about the hurting people's feelings, something that I said in a video got like, I don't know if it was taken out of context or something, but people were talking about it on Twitter, and then people made a post about it. I think Azurcon made a post about it on Peak D. Yeah, I don't, no comment. I just don't even care. like, the intent of it was not to hurt people's feelings, and if you're not gonna go look at the source material for what I was talking about in that video, then I can't. I'm not gonna hold your hand through this. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. I'll catch you all in the next one. Have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.